Time now for a Golf Today Roundtable. Let's welcome our friends, Golf Channel senior writers Rex Hoggard and Ryan Lavner. Rex, I want to start with you. This is the fall, the FedExCup Fall. Guys are grinding, trying to improve their spots. Great, wonderful stories. And now we go to Japan for a no-cut short field event. Does this kind of stick out like a sore thumb, or are you okay with the rhythm of the FedExCup Fall?
Damon, it's clearly the square peg in the round hole when it comes to the fall. And look, it probably fit in back when the tour came up with the fall series because it was going to be the highlight. It was probably going to be one of two events that the top stars actually participated in. But now the fall has transitioned into something else. It now seems like a 7, 8, 9 week Q school where guys are trying to improve their status. They're trying to get status. They're trying not to drop out of the top 125. It's got a much different feel than what it had before. And now you sort of plop this ZOZO Championship, limited field. A lot of the top players come back out. It doesn't seem to fit into what they're trying to do in the fall. And this goes back to a conversation I had with a member of the policy board earlier this year. And I asked this member, if you had a blank sheet of paper and could come up with a perfect schedule, imagine how much fun that exercise would be. And he stopped me and said the tour does not have a blank piece of paper when it comes to making its schedule at the moment. This is a really good example of that.
Ryan, just on this idea of what the tour is actually trying to do, we're 4 events into the fall schedule at this point. Is this about delivering a product for fans, or is it the other half of the tour's real motivation, which is to deliver playing opportunities for its members as it's supposed to?
I think it's the latter, Eamon. I think this week's ZOZO Championship is the perfect example of that. As someone who wants to see the PGA Tour become as cutthroat and as competitive a product as possible, having 78 players and no cuts runs exactly counter to that. You have 8 players this week, Damon, who are ranked outside the top 110 in the FedEx Cup standings. So by virtue of having a no-cut event where you're guaranteed to have points, those players are either going to secure their PGA Tour status or they're going to come awfully close to doing so. That runs counter to exactly what this fall series is supposed to be about, which is sort of that prove it or lose it type attitude that you want to have for these PGA Tour players. I think it's just another valid point of criticism for the PGA Tour that they're offering too many handouts and lifelines to members for too long of a period of time.
Well, Rex, we want to see the players prove it, and Gary Woodland has proven it as a major champion, also coming back from a brain tumor, finished tied for 9th in Las Vegas. You've covered Gary's story as close as anyone. What should our viewers know about the road that he has been on just to be back to competing on the PGA Tour?
I will give Tim O'Neill his flowers. He clearly is the comeback story, the feel-good story of the weekend, getting that win on the PGA Tour Champions. But I tuned in this weekend to watch Gary Woodland. As you pointed out, after having brain surgery last September, he came back to the PGA Tour. I sat down with him at the Players Championship and did a really long interview and sort of just talked about everything he went through. And it was very much life-threatening and soul-searching and sitting down with your family and having really, really difficult conversations. And when the recorder was turned off, he even told me at that time, back at TPC Sawgrass, he was still dealing with a lot of the things that he was dealing with before the surgery, a lack of energy, anxiety, and the doctors were still trying to get the medications right. They were still trying to find out exactly what the path looked like going forward. I think this weekend, getting that first top 10 since he came back from surgery is a huge step in the right direction for one of the most likable guys on the PGA Tour.
It really does have to go down as probably the feel-good story of the fall so far. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that one. But for every sort of silver lining, there is a cloud here. Ryan, the Ryder Cup ticket prices were announced last week. $749 per ticket per day for the 3 days of tournament action. And it's very clear that the PGA of America does believe, and they're probably right, that the market will bear those costs. But should they set costs at that, even if they can, or does it sit ill with you in this idea of an era where greed has run amok and it's not really in line with the Muni ethos of the venue that they're going to?
Well, I mean, I think that's a great question. And I wish I had a hot take for you, but I really don't on this topic. I can clearly understand that the PGA is in a pickle here because with this 4-year hosting cycle, they need to be competitively priced in a very unique market without coming across as greedy or going against the very DNA of Bethpage Black or sort of spoiling what is the sport's best atmosphere. I think like the worst thing that could happen to this 2025 Ryder Cup is all of a sudden it becomes a 2023 U.S. Open and it's very corporate and all of the most passionate, ardent fans are priced out. I was hoping you were going to mention Eamon, the column that you wrote for golfweek.com. So I thought you made a great point that it does seem like the ripe environment for the PGA of America to spin off the Ryder Cup to an entity like PGA Tour Enterprises. That sale would allow the PGA of America to help its 30,000 members. It would sort of enrich the event and take it to new heights. It would certainly enrich the players who now, with these ticket prices, are probably going to be even more emboldened to think that they should be playing for pay in the Ryder Cup. This was such a strong topic last year in Rome. So I think all of those sort of factors can be neutralized by having a potential sale of the Ryder Cup. I know that's down the road, but that's sort of a point I thought that you hit on quite well.
Rex, just following on this, Ryan mentioned the 2023 US Open at LA Country Club, where the vibe was flat, to be charitable. That way.
Easy, that's my hometown.
But that was also a lot of, as Ryan pointed out, a lot of the tickets went to members, but they bought them by perfectly legitimate means. That wasn't a pricing issue, I guess. That was an access issue. This is a very clear pricing issue. Is it a black eye for either the PGA of America or the game in general, just because of the vibe that we live in these days, where the fans don't feel prioritised and they do see greed in every corner?
I was listening earlier in the show and I thought I'd bypass that question and duck it. Apparently not. So we're going to go ahead and go into it. I'm kind of with Ryan on this one. To answer your question, yes. We talked about this last week, the idea that the Bethpage Ryder Cup was going to be a different Ryder Cup. It was going to be gritty, it was going to be loud, it was probably going to be drunk, and all of the things that we've come to expect out of Ryder Cup times 10 because it was at Bethpage. And yes, charging $750 a ticket is probably going to dull that experience down a little bit. You're not going to get the crowds that you anticipated. I don't think it's going to be like LACC, apologies to Damon, I know it's his hometown, but that was a pretty quiet atmosphere by comparison. I still think it's going to be rowdy, but the idea that the PGA of America knows what they're doing and they price this competitively, if you look at tomorrow, the deadline comes for the lottery to get those tickets for the Ryder Cup next year. They've already got 500,000 people signed up. They're expecting 45,000 to 50,000 a day. I know it's outrageous. I'm not paying $750 a ticket, but someone is.